Mind anytime you're stepping out. Charlie, life is short. Be determined at whatever that it is you do. Let's head to the courts. Captain has joined us this morning. Captain, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Lily. How are you doing?
I'm doing awesome.
Belated happy birthday.
Thank
How was
you.
the birthday yesterday?
Oh, it was awesome.
You were trending, actually. Woke up in the morning, then I saw the picture. I was like, wow.
Yes.
Early move.
All over.
Congratulations.
Thank
happy
you.
Birthday to you.
Thank you.
It is always a pleasure working with you. One of the reasons I show up every day is the energy that you pump. Always we have to pump in the action and all. And we are proud of you.
Yeah,
we're really proud of you. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
How was the celebration yesterday?
Oh, it was awesome. I love birthdays.
Yeah, I know.
I love birthdays.
I'm not sure anybody will question that.
Yes, so, I mean, it was...
And especially when it's a weekend.
You know, just that it was a Sunday, and I would have preferred a Saturday, but hey, you can't question God when he's doing, he's arranging his days, right? Sure. Yeah, I clear, back to work, right? Anyway, let's serve Mother Ghana.
You share a birth month with... Today is my brother's birthday, actually.
Oh!
So you had yesterday, my brother yesterday. And my father is also some few days to come.
You see? Yeah.
You people are special.
We are the best.
Yes. So in the course of the day, you have the opportunity to celebrate. So my junior brother, Inu Samuru, today it's his birthday.
Happy birthday to you. You almost came on my day, but that's okay. And yesterday was also the birthday of former NP boss, Dr. Mustafa Hamid, and Pius Enam Hajide as well. Yesterday was his birthday. And then the Deputy Defense Minister, Bojaji Mfi. Yes. And of course, Donald Trump.
I like the of course part.
Yes.
Donald Trump. Wow.
Yes.
Somebody will ask, hey, Donald Trump has a birthday.
You know? Yeah. He was 80.
Yesterday, right?
Yeah, yesterday. We share the same birthday. Yeah.
Hey, Lily, you have a partner.
Yeah, I have a best friend. Anyway, what's happening in court?
Yes, Lily, it started from last Thursday.
Okay.
Yes, and in fact, we did break down some of the things that the whole issue is about. The Akunta mining issue, Chairman Wuntumi, that has to do with the Summer Boy case. You know that he has led Chairman Wuntumi to prosecute his defense. I'm talking about Andy Apiakubi, the lead lawyer for Chairman Wuntumi, Akunta mining and all of that. And Thursday, we broke the news that he has withdrawn his services. Especially after the indication came that his client has directed that they file plea bargaining in the Exim Ban case. And when we engaged him and he confirmed that to us, then he did mention that in respect of the Summer Boy case, he's filed a motion to withdraw his services. So, Director, let's look at that motion that he's filed. We've already told you about it. So, the reason it is very important today is that today the High Court will be sitting. And if the High Court sits today, one of the issues that is before the High Court in respect of this motion that I have put on your screen there. So, the Republic versus Bernard and Chubu Isiakun, first accused person, Kwame Entry, second accused person, but of course, at large, he is on the run. He's not been found. Akunta Mining is the third accused person in relation to this particular matter. But pay attention to the heading. It said, motion or notice. And what is that notice that is given? Application for leave to withdraw legal services to A1 and A3 accused, or A first and third accused person. The reason the second accused person has not been mentioned is that now, as of now, he has not been found, so he's on the run. Okay. Then he said that, please let all parties concerned take notice, and the parties concerned in this matter, obviously, is the Attorney General, that this Honorable Court will be moved by counsel for A1 and A3, Andy Kwame Apiakubi of Apiakubi and Associate, praying for leave to withdraw legal services to the first and third accused persons per the terms of the accompanying affidavit. And look at the name. The court will be moved on Monday, 15th of June 2026 at 9 o'clock.
Okay.
In the forenoon. So today, 9 o'clock,
it will be determined.
It will be moved. He will have to tell the court why at this particular point in time he's withdrawing his services and all of that. But he's giving us an idea about what exactly are his reasons why he's urging the court or he's asking the court to hear him for the time that he wants to move out. Let's look at the artwork and then we'll tell you more about why Andy Apiakubi. So, of course, he's mentioned his name. He's also told the court that he is the lawyer for the two accused persons in this particular case. And, of course, the motion before the court are within his personal knowledge, and he wants the court to know more about it. And, of course, at the hearing of this particular motion, he'll make references to some materials or documents that he's attached to that. So let's look at the next one in relation to that particular application before the court and all of that. So essentially, he's also telling the court that he's filed this particular, in fact, he was appointed as lawyer for the accused person sometime 28th day of October 2025 to come and lead the accused persons in this particular case. And of course, if you look at the application that he's filed, he said at some point in time, he made references or he made a request to the court for some documentation that has to do with the substance of the case, especially so because one Henry Ogum, the second prosecution witness in this particular matter, and the man who said that, yes, Chairman Wuntumi gave me the concession to do whatever activities that has been found on the concession. He said he needed some agreement between them and Chairman Wuntakunta Mining. That has not been done, and he believes that not getting those materials or documents, it had made his work much more difficult in respect of this particular case. So that's one of the references that he's making reference to as why he wants the court or he wants to, as it were, withdraw his services from this particular case. Of course, he's also mentioned, Director, let's move on. It also make references to at the time that the prosecution closed its case, and then it has become very necessary that the file submission of no case, they made that known to the court. And at some point in time, the court made a ruling, and the ruling did not go in his favor because the court dismissed it, asked them to open their defense and respond to the charges that have been leveled against them. He said that, look, after that ruling, he's also filed an appeal at the Court of Appeal and was expecting that the Court of Appeal would deal with the matter. And whilst the Court of Appeal has not dealt with the issue, he sought a stay of proceedings for the High Court to stay the case. But the High Court again dismissed that. Director, let's move on. And so, in totality of this case, he's assessed the whole thing and then believed that, notwithstanding the enormity of work required to pursue the evidence on record and the various annexes, the court ordered the filing of addresses. You know that once the parties closed their case, the court directed. In fact, the court did not expressly say the parties are ordered to file. The court gave them a choice. It said it is not mandatory. If you are desired or if you want to assist the courts, for the court to come to a determination, then file your written or closing addresses to assist the court. And closing addresses essentially is you summarizing the case, the entirety of your case to the court. This is what I want the court to do for me in relation to all the things that we have done from day one up to the last day. So you make sure that you tell the court that based on all that we have said, these are the things that we want us to do for him. That is the essence of the closing addresses or the final addresses. He makes the point that at the time that the court, as it were, gave him is not enough. Then went on to say in the paragraph 11 that it is on record that there have been a serious disagreement even in decisions on procedural matters, sometimes ending in mistrust between prosecution, defense, and the bench, that I feel very disappointed in the various decisions of the court and do not want same to affect my performance and ultimately the fortunes of my client, and that I know how illogical it is to expect to win arguments at all times, but my disappointment affects my emotional and psychological balance. Lily, emotional and psychological balance. That's interesting. Balance necessary for maintaining the level of performance for the task ahead. Director, let's look at the very last page. And that I know that the outcome of this case will not be the end of this matter, and believe that justice will be better served on a better and more equitable platform with cooperating actors. That I personally believe the interest of my client will be better served if I withdraw to allow other professionals to come in and take over from where I am leaving off. And that is where it is very interesting. As we speak, in relation to that matter, Lily, the parties, no evidence is required again. All that the parties are supposed to do in this trial is done. The only thing left is the addresses.
Okay.
So, Andy Apiakubi, I don't know why he left it too late at this particular point. I wouldn't say too late, but at this particular point to file. And one thing that I also know do happen in the course of trial is that when a judge is dealing with a matter where at some point in time you feel that you are not getting the necessary support, you are not getting the support from the court is showing that attitude, that quote unquote likelihood of bias towards you. There are steps that you have to take. You either go to the Supreme Court and prohibit the judge from dealing with the matter, or you even petition the Chief Justice to say that this judge is dealing with the matter in a manner that I think justice will not be served. Case should be assigned to a new judge to deal with. We didn't see any of the issues, and nowhere at some point in the course of the trial did the lawyers complained about the attitude of the judge or how the judge is handling the matter. Complaint that they have raised in relation to that, the point that we want the case adjourned to this day, the court will say that, no, it is too long, let's bring it to this way. And some point in time, it even becomes a banter in the courtroom where at the end, the parties themselves do not agree on a specific date to come. Then the judge will then have to now fix the date for all to come. So in totality of what we have said, this is what Andy Apiakubi is saying, that, look, this formed the basis for his withdrawal, and this morning, he'll be moving that particular application. But guess what the Attorney General has been saying? Director, let's look at that. And this is the motion that has been filed by the Office of the Attorney General. And guess what the AG is saying? Notice of preliminary legal objection.
Okay.
The AG is raising a legal objection against this particular motion from Andy Apiakubi. And the AG is saying that, take notice that the Republic shall, on a ground stated herein, raise a preliminary legal objection to the motion on notice for leave to withdraw legal services dated June 9, 2026. And look at the grounds that the AG is raising. Jurisdiction and capacity and standing. And this was signed by the Deputy Attorney General on behalf of the Attorney General. And this morning, it is one of the things that will feature heavily in relation to this particular motion that is coming before Justice Audrey Kokuviti. And the controversy is that Andy Apiakubi is saying that he's withdrawing his legal services in this particular point in time when the court had fixed July 3 to deliver judgment. We'll be in the courtroom to see what will happen and whether indeed this particular motion or request will be granted, and if granted, what will be the ramification? If not, if it's also not granted, what will be the decision of the court and whether the judgment dates will be affected.
Let's look at some of the cases coming up today.
Yes. So another case that we are talking to you about this morning is in relation to the OSP. You know, sometime in April, the High Court decided...
On the officer's prosecutorial mandate.
Absolutely. Okay. The High Court made a ruling, and that ruling was to the effect that hand over all the cases they are prosecuting to the Attorney General, all cases that you have secured conviction, declared void, and of course go to the AG and ask for prosecutorial powers before you continue with cases that, or you can start prosecuting. We know the effect of that. We have heard the controversies, even that there's another action before the Supreme Court that we expect judgment on the 29th. But just so because the AG doesn't take over the cases that the OSP had, they went back to the same court to say that stay execution, let nothing happen in the orders that you have given. On last 2 weeks ago, the High Court heard argument from the OSP, and this morning, the High Court will be making the ruling as to whether to grant OSP's request to stay execution or not. So it's one of the things that we should expect in relation to matters that had to do with the prosecutorial powers of the Office of the Special Prosecutor in relation to things that are happening now.
What else are we looking at?
National Service, Ghost News. And today, the man on your screen You can see the back. I'm sure. Yes.
Osei
entry. Yes. So today, Osei entry is at the High Court. Is back in court. Case management conference is expected to happen in relation to this particular case where he's been accused. You know that there are two separate legs of this case. One, Gifty Owari, is also facing her case separately, and he, as the executive director of National Service Authority, is also facing his charges. So before Justice Nako Akwashi and Osei entry this morning is expected. And once disclosures are filed and everything is sorted out, then case management conference will proceed today. So these are the cases that we should expect by way of what is happening in court, and some more that we chance on them, not Lily.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. That should do for court today. I take a break. When I return, my guests will join me for the breakfast review. Stay with us. You're welcome back to the show. This is OJ today here on J1 TV, and I am Lily Mohammed. It's now time for the breakfast review. On the breakfast review this morning, I've been joined by Fifi Boafo, his former head of corporate affairs for Cocoa Board. He's also eyeing the Takwa and Swayam seat. Good morning, Fifi. How are you?
I could have been better, but it's not bad. Good morning, Lily. And belated birthday to you.
Thank you.
Good. Thank you. Charlie should have invited me to the champagne party.
I know, right? The champagne party, we are doing it this weekend.
Oh, okay.
You know when your birthday falls on a Sunday and then Monday you have to go to work, you just chill small and you postpone the rest.
So we are freezing the champagne.
Yes.
Why not?
And then Hamza Soyena Square is a member of the NDC Communications. Are you a part of the NDC legal team?
In the past, but not now.
Okay. I wanted to be sure.
You are now.
How are you?
Well, we are doing well, but most importantly, I think that what gives us sleepless nights is the commitment we make to the good people of this country as a party in government, and the fact that regardless of our own personal circumstances, the weight of that responsibility keeps us awake day and night, because unlike what we experienced in the last 8 years of the NPP regime, our job is to set standards that Ghanaians would be proud of. Our job is to at least meet the expectations of the Ghanaian people in a way that gives them hope in our democracy. Our responsibility is most importantly to create jobs for the teeming youth of our country. And we acknowledge that we cannot do so in a matter of 1 year, 5 months. But given the fact that we have a 4-year mandate, we will do everything humanly possible to ensure that if we are unable to provide jobs for all Ghanaian youth, at least the commitment and demonstration in terms of what we would have achieved in the next 4 years would show that this is a government that was sincere in terms of its campaign promise. And so it is difficult. The responsibility can be daunting, but it doesn't come as a surprise to the NDC and His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, and of course his appointees. So be rest assured that this term will be one that we can be proud of as a country.
Okay, now that you talk about campaign promises, I am wondering what you told cocoa farmers, because cocoa farmers are not happy with you, and even as we speak, government has maintained the price, even though the world market prices have plummeted a bit, but government still maintains the price. But cocoa farmers seem not to be happy with your government. Anyway, congratulations, you just returned from Mecca. He's now an Alhaji, a full-blown Alhaji. Yeah.
Thank you. But Lily, first of all, I think that it is true that some cocoa farmers have concerns regarding the unfortunate decline in cocoa prices. And this is not just peculiar to Ghana. Côte d'Ivoire is also suffering from such an unfortunate decline. And mind you, it is not just cocoa farmers. Even prior to the coming into government of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, the entirety of the good people of this country had serious complaints as far as the economy at large was concerned, and most importantly, various sectors of the economy. It is not practically feasible for us to be able to allay the complaints and frustrations of many sectors of the Ghanaian economy in a matter of 1 year, 5 months. But you would agree with me that in the last 1 year or so, this government signaled an important direction in terms of our commitment to restoring our economic fundamentals and getting it right. And we have been successful as far as that trajectory is concerned. Yes, as part of that recovery journey, one would expect a reflection of that recovery in the pockets of the ordinary Ghanaian, and most importantly, and specifically to the question, the cocoa farmer. But if you look at the indices, the promises that were made, government demonstrated commitment once again to the cocoa farmers. Prior to the decline or collapse in cocoa prices, the NPP government, even in 8 years, could not boast of giving 70% of the FOB price to cocoa farmers. But if you remember, between 2024 2025...
Well, the man who handled the corporate affairs is here. So,
if you remember, I think the highest they did was about 63.2%. But if you remember, somewhere 2024, 2025, 25 last year, His Excellency President Mohammed, through his finance minister, indicated that for the first time we're paying 70% of the FOB price. At then, I think 5,000, a ton of cocoa was going for about $5,040. And so we did about 70% of that to cocoa farmers. But unfortunately, within that same season, we had a decline in international prices as far as cocoa was concerned. If you remember, around that same period, Côte d'Ivoire also eventually announced a cut down on cocoa prices. Ghana had no other way to go, considering the mess that was handed over to us in the cocoa sector. Because continuing with that trajectory of 70% of FOB at that time would have simply meant that we're collapsing cocoa board. So we needed to apply the brakes and ensure that the prices actually reflect international commodity prices like cocoa. And that was what we did. And we knew that doing so would have had serious implications on the incomes of the cocoa farmer. But government was forced to take that detour because of the economic situation, especially as far as the management of the cocoa sector was concerned. Remember, it was around the same time we were talking about the over 333,000 tons of rollover contracts that needed to be serviced. And even prior to that, we were all clear on our minds that Cocoa Board was bankrupt before the NDC government came into office. And we are not saying it. In 2022, Cocoa Board itself wrote officially to the government of Ghana that they were not able to service the cocoa bonds. Now, fast forward, the responsibility of this government was to handle many of these lapses. And you can only do so by ensuring that you are not reckless and being truthful to the cocoa farmer. We have done so. This is a golden opportunity for any government to have been wicked towards the ordinary cocoa farmer and say that, look, this is the light crop season. And in line with the declining cocoa prices, there's a need for us to even review the current price form systems. But this government said, no, we will not do so. Let us maintain the prices. Government would absorb a burden of that responsibility so that we do not subject cocoa farmers to levels that would consider untoward in terms of their economic situation. That is the whole objective. It is not as if government has so much that it is now in a position to absorb the decline. And for that matter, I'm willing to announce decline as far as the price ratios are concerned. But the reality is that it is our responsibility. And remember, we are a social democratic party. And in whatever policy we roll out, we must focus on the implications of that on the average cocoa farmer, and to a very large extent, the overall picture on the Ghanaian economy. Effect. The ripple effect. And that is what we are doing. So my plea to our friends in the NPP is to understand that enough of the cocoa politics. They did it when His Excellency John Jerry Rawlings was president, same under John Evans Atta Mills. But when they had the opportunity for 8 years, they handed over to us a collapsed cocoa sector. Our responsibility is to revamp that sector. And we are doing so.
Okay.
And the most responsible thing to do is to partner us in that drive to revamp the sector. And revamping the sector will require sacrifices on the part of government and on the part of the average cocoa farmer. And we are doing just that. And we are hoping that the MPP, for the first time, will privilege national interests over their petty partisanship and join that process in ensuring that we salvage that sinking cocoa board.
But if you say in the interest of farmers and in the interest of the general public, you didn't tell this to the farmers at the time. Don't you think that is why they're unhappy? Because you gave them a picture of 70%, which was commensurate with the price at the time. So you made them feel like you're going to pay them more when you you are given the chance.
We made a promise of 70% of FOB. And the arguments then, I remember quite vividly, that cocoa season was to the effect that the amount that was being offered to the cocoa farmer at the time could have been more. And that if you look at the international prices, Ghanaian farmers needed to get more.
Sure.
The situation today is not the same as it was. Remember that between 23 and 2024, I hope I'm getting the years right, the international pricing, I think per ton was about $9,000 to $12,000. There were fluctuations around that period. We are not getting the same pricing ratio. There's a decline. And even the MPP agrees that there's a decline. So if there's a decline, it is practically impossible for you to get what we argued when the prices were rising that you were entitled to. This is simple mathematics. And that is what we are saying. When we saw some measure of improvement last year, we announced 70% of the FOB price, didn't we? In line with the promise of His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama in opposition. And that's why I'm saying that, look, we will not be reckless in our management of the sector. When the prices reflect an increment, that increment would be reflected in the pockets of the average cocoa farmer. But if it reflects a decline, a decreasing trend, that burden would be shared by the government of Ghana and that of the cocoa farmer. Unfortunately painful, but that will be the reality in terms of getting our economic fundamentals to function for the entirety of the sectors, not just the cocoa industry alone.
Okay. Fifi. I saw that a few times.
My brother Hamza started by saying that they lose sleep because of the promises they made to the Ghanaian. Hamza looked like someone who had a sound sleep last night. He does not.
It doesn't look like somebody who's...
You can see
my
his
eyes
face.
can show. My face, I'm stressed.
The viewer cannot be deceived in any way. He's seen Hamza, and it demonstrates how we've been scammed.
How?
Oh, the people who tell you they are losing sleep, when you see them, you can tell that they've had a very sound sleep. They do
in fact,
not.
You look sounder.
They do not simply care. Mm-hmm. That's what it is. Because if it talks about employment, today, every 2 young people you meet in Accra is unemployed. And he says they care and they are concerned about unemployment. And you look like someone who had a fantastic 8 hours sleep. Is that someone who cares? Obviously, they do not care. But let's talk about cocoa. I'll start with some figures he shared. I know he does not work with Cocoa Board. He does not work within the cocoa industry. So all this information he's talking about is information that has been shared to them. The worry I have is that the people who are sharing this information or briefing them seem to be telling a story which is not accurate. I do not want to call it a lie. And that is worrying, because if you paint a picture which is a wrong picture and let the people believe in that this is what is happening, the time the real fact will come out, it may be too late to salvage the situation. So let's talk about the figures he was quoting in terms of percentage that is paid to cocoa farmers, and suggesting that under the MPP, we were not paying the farmers 80%. So this is 2017-2018. Within cocoa industry, we do not have 2025 or 2026. The year starts October and ends September the following year. So 2017-2018, we paid the cocoa farmer 83.04% of the FOB price. He's talking about 70. 2018-2019, we paid the cocoa farmer 76.07% of the FOB price. 2019-2020 was 66%. 2020-2021, 85.07% of the FOB price. 2021-2022, we paid the farmer 80.32%. I'll just leave it here. I can go on and on to demonstrate that that information they keep sharing, that information they keep going out with, it's a complete lie. They should jettison it. They should stop referring to it, because it makes their story terrible. They made a promise to cocoa farmers. What was the promise? we had paid cocoa farmers 3,100 Ghana cedis a bag of cocoa. They said that is cheating. They said it was sheer wickedness. It was robbery. And who were the lead choristers? Atuforsen, who is now the Minister for Finance for our republic. In fact, if you look at the Cocoa Board law, he is the chairman of the Producer Price Review Committee. The Producer Price Review Committee is the committee responsible for setting cocoa price in our country. Atuforsen, who said not paying the cocoa farmer 7,000 was robbery, is today paying the cocoa farmer 2,500 Ghana cedis. Who was the other lead chorister? Eric Opoku.
Yeah,
who is now the Minister for Agriculture? Where is he? Is he now quiet? Do you hear him talk about cocoa prices anymore? He simply does not care. The hardship the farmers are going through, it means nothing to them. They cannot be bothered. It is not a concern to them. You made a promise to pay them 7,000. And first time in the history of Ghana, first time in the history of Ghana, we have cocoa price being reduced halfway. It has never happened in the history of Ghana. It is only under John Dramani Mahama as President of the Republic of Ghana where we have cocoa farmers being told to take a haircut. It's not happened in our history. It is the first time.
Is that a haircut
Or
the reality on the ground?
It is not a reality. It's a complete haircut.
How?
And this time around, it's Sakura. They gave them Sakura with our boy. That's what the NDC has done. A haircut. You know what? Every year, before you start a cocoa season, per convention, you look at how much cocoa you expect to produce. 2, you look at how much cocoa you have sold on the international market, how much you've realized, and what you project to sell the remaining cocoa. And then you determine what we know as the weighted average price, FOB price of cocoa. Then you give a percentage, and that's the percentage Hamza was referring to. You give a percentage, a minimum of about 70% of net FOB to the cocoa farmer. That percentage we give to the cocoa farmer. It is what we know within the cocoa industry as a minimum guaranteed price. Minimum guaranteed price. To mean that you will not at any point in time go below the minimum guaranteed price. It is the least you will give the farmer. So in a situation where you have a better price, then you give what is known as bonus to the cocoa farmers. This time round, they have reduced the minimum guaranteed price. What occasioned that? It occasioned that because they simply did not predict right. Why did they not predict right? Because the people who are supposed to sell the cocoa, they are doing internal politics with them. The traders themselves, they are doing internal politics between the chief executive of Cocoa Board and the managing director of Cocoa Marketing Company, where the chief executive says, let these people sell cocoa. The managing director says, well, this time round, the president has appointed the managing director of Cocoa Marketing Company, so I decide who is supposed to sell the cocoa and all that, creating needless chaos at Cocoa House. Needless.
That is what you have gathered?
Oh, that's what it is. Even at a point, the managing director of Cocoa Marketing Company decided to transfer some of the traders from the trading room. The chief executive and the board said, well, per the laws of Cocoa Board, a manager up, you cannot transfer that person unless you go through the board of Cocoa Board. So you cannot do that. Those persons were transferred back to the trading room. As of last week, the chief executive is in US watching football. The managing director has decided to transfer those people from the trading room. Is really, and the effect is that the cocoa farmer is suffering. I'm a born why. What crime has the cocoa farmer committed to suffer needlessly because of the decision of these people to decide not to agree to work in the same institution according to the rules of the organization? Needless. And that's what we are talking about. And they decide to blame other people. They talk about price fall. In 2016, the world market price of cocoa was 3,800. By 2017, when the MPP took over, the price dropped from 3,800 to 1,800 Ghana cedis. Did the MPP administration at the time say that, give the farmers haircut? No. Government took the decision that if you look at the cocoa value chain, the most vulnerable within the value chain is the cocoa farmer. So do not pass on this hardship to the cocoa farmer. Find a way of making sure that at least you cushion the cocoa farmer as a way of sustaining the cocoa industry. Today, the moment there was a fall at the world market price, the option of government was let the farmer suffer. Because me, government, I'm not interested in suffering. So the farmer must suffer. Bear in mind, the decision to fix the price at 7,500 was not a decision that was made by a cocoa farmer. It was a decision that was made by government officials, the minister responsible for finance, the chief executive and his board of cocoa board, and the producer price review committee. The farmers were not the people who took that decision. But they have decided to pass on the hardship to the cocoa farmer. You know, farmers who sold their cocoa as far back as October, November last year, some of them are still complaining they've not been paid. Even after reviewing the price further. Is that how sensitive this government is? The insensitivity is troubling, it's worrying, and it's something that should cause some sleepless night. But hey, where's this other? They are looking all well and good. They cannot be bothered. And this must not happen. They must show some concern. And it looks like the farmers have been scammed. That's precisely what it is. Because you made them a promise. I remember Eric Opoku, he sat on television, and what did he say? He was asked a specific question. So would you pay the farmer the 6,000 if you are given the mandate? He says, why? Are we the owners of the cocoa? No, the farmers own the cocoa. They are the people who produce it. So what will be our relevance if we win power and we do not pay the farmers 6,000? Have they won power? Yes. Are they paying the farmers the 6,000? The answer is no. And why are they?
Prevailing market price.
Well, the prevailing market price, you see, let me explain this so that we don't confuse it. You do not sell all your cocoa in one day. And when you do not also have to wait for the price to fall before you sell your cocoa. The terminal gives you opportunity to sell within 18 months period. So you could sell your cocoa at a higher price when the price is doing good. And fortunately for us, that period was the time we saw cocoa price rise to the highest in a long period of time. The world market price of cocoa went as high as $13,000 a ton. What did they do? They came to do politics by suggesting that the previous arrangement by the previous government, and it wasn't just the previous government, it is what has existed over the years from Dr. Opunim, Isaac Osei, all previous chief executive. That's what has happened. We used to sell forward. They took over and they said, no. Forward sale was not the way to go. Rather, let's do spot sale. Spot sale to say that, okay, today I have cocoa, I am ready to go to the market and sell. But we caution that, you know what? Doing forward sale is not just a way of guaranteeing the syndication, but it was also a way of at least spreading your risk. If you keep your cocoa and the price should fall, you suffer the hits for that. They failed to heed to this advice, rather kept the cocoa, sat on, continued with the needless fight at Cocoa House, waited for the price to fall, and then they come and say that, the price has fallen at the international market, so farmers, we are sorry, we have to reduce your price. What stopped them from selling the cocoa? You know, at the time they were announcing the world market, the price for cocoa for farmers last year, The world market price was over 8,000. You had opportunity to sell. So why did you not sell? Why did you wait?
Maybe they anticipated it was going to...
And see, when you sell cocoa, you have a duty to the farmer. The farmer's business within this chain, go to the farm, weed, plant the cocoa, take care of it, spray it, go and harvest it, do all that is expected of the farmer. You have people, they are paid to read the market and forecast right. That is their business. So if you say that the farmer who has played his part of the game, you had a responsibility to correctly forecast the market. The market was 13,000. You failed to sell and just say that, well, I got it wrong, farmer. So you are supposed to suffer for it. Is that fair? Was the decision to predict the market wrongly a decision that was made by the cocoa farmer? So why is the farmer suffering for it rather than the person who took that decision? It is not right. It is unfair. It is insensitivity they have demonstrated. And it is not something we must encourage them. And they cannot. They cannot hide behind spreading misinformation as a way of saying that let's pay the farmer or let's cover up our insensitivity. You promised the farmer 6,000. You had a world market price of $13,000 a ton. You failed to take advantage of it, allow the price to drop, and today you are talking about price dropping. What
if you say allow the price to drop, they didn't have control over it, did they?
No, they did. They could have sold it at the time the market was good. And you know another interesting thing. So let me just even talk about ordinarily, the new price they have announced. Ordinarily, it shouldn't be a big deal if the price has been maintained. Because beginning, Ghana, unlike other producing countries, you are citing an example of Cote d'Ivoire. Cote d'Ivoire, every year, they will have two different prices for cocoa. The main crop and the light crop. In the case of main crop, they will usually have a price around the figure we will announce. But light crop, because the light crop beans are discounted, so they will have a reduced price for their farmers. In Ghana, we take into consideration the quantity of cocoa that will be produced during the year. And it's usually less than 20% of our production numbers. And we know it will be discounted. Because of that, we take that into consideration in announcing the minimum guaranteed price beginning the year. So if you have taken that into consideration, and today you come and talk about the fact that, oh, well, you have there's discount, the price for, it doesn't wash. They should jettison that argument. And you know, I talk about the fact that ordinarily we shouldn't be worried about the fact that the price has been maintained because we do minimum guaranteed price. But the people who talk about fall in price and for reason we must let it reflect. At the time they were announcing the reduction, the haircut, the world market price was 4,200. That's the figure they gave us. That's fine. Today is about 4,000. So why are they paying the farmer the same amount? If we are to go by the logic that if the price is 4,200, you pay the farmer 2,500, and you don't want to be reckless and irresponsible, just like Hamza was throwing in the words, like the MPP. So we let it reflect. Why are you paying the same amount? But you see, there's a trick. At the time of announcing the price, the dollar was around 10 cedis to a dollar. Today, the dollar is about 12. It must reflect. So if we are calculating the price, you should take into consideration the fall in the dollar. Did they take that into consideration? I do not know, but it doesn't look like. They talk about 3,000, 4,000. Wait, no. They talk about 4,000. Oh, please, relax. I was listening to you talking about.
No, I'm just questioning her because anyone who monitors the program would be forgiven to think that we are having a solo. Because you've been speaking for too long.
Alaji.
Don't worry, I'll give you the chance.
Alaji, you want to host the show?
No, you can continue. You can.
Please go ahead.
So let me land. They are not telling us. If you look at the statement they issued, they did not talk about how much they are realizing from the market. They did not talk about the exchange rates. We do not also know country differential. Country differential is every country, how you produce your cocoa, and then the safety of your contract gives you a certain premium. The premium, we do not know how much they are realizing from that premium. And there's something that was also achieved under Nana Akufo-Addo and Dr. Bawumia administration, the living income differential of $400 a ton. Are they realizing it? Are they adding it to that? They are quiet about it. What do they have to hide? Now we can proceed, sir.
Hamza.
You see, Lily, thank you once again for the opportunity. The most annoying thing about the New Patriotic Party is not just that their arguments are wrong, but it is the way they make it with some self-righteousness when it comes to our economic recovery or even events, specifically at the cocoa industry. You listen to my brother. Give a beautiful lecture about how the cocoa industry works and proceeded at the back of that beautiful lecture to question even my own appreciation of the sector because I have not worked in that sector. And that is why I have always argued that if you take any sector in this country and you are looking for lectures about how people are suffering, about how that sector is not working, you go to the likes of my brother Fifi and the NPP for those lectures. But when it comes to finding solutions to the challenges, the people you need to look up to is the National Democratic Congress. And I'll demonstrate why.
Okay.
First, my brother made reference to the fact that, today, and that is just beside the point, before I move to the cocoa sector debate. Now when you walk the streets of Ghana, every 2 young person you meet on the streets are unemployed.
No, really? I said Accra.
Accra. Did you just realize that?
And this is data.
Please. I'm not disputing the data.
Service.
Be patient. You said that we needed to be patient.
No. I was drawing my attention.
Are you now just realizing this? Have you looked at the unemployment figures as far as the youth are concerned at the time President Mohammed was exiting office in 2015-16? And what you drove it to? Why do you think that your party lost power in the last election? You think that it had to do with your reckless handling of the economy alone and investments in sectors that were unnecessary, like cathedral or corruption? Absolutely not. Suddenly, in 1 year, 3-4 months in opposition, you have realized that the youth of our country are unemployed on the streets. You see that self-righteous approach to our politics. Again, now to the cocoa debate. My brother says that, look, we played politics with the people, and we should be paying them what they deserve. And that...
No, I said what you promised them.
What we promised them.
Yeah.
And that, quite apart from that, we are even having difficulties in paying the cocoa farmer. Interesting. But he forgot conveniently to let you know, Lily, that in 2023-2024, for 9 good months, unprecedented, they failed to pay LBCs. At the time he was there, as spokesperson to the Chief Executive Officer and Cocoa Board. 9 good months, and these are not my words. These are words of the president of the LBCs Association. 9 good months, unprecedented. The people who effectively manage the cocoa sector. Ask my brother again. At the time they were leaving office, because of their failure to manage the sector prudently, this government had to take the burden of 333,000 tons of rollover contracts. That accounted in excess of about $948 million loss of financial burden to Cocoa Board. He thinks that these figures had no implications on the future pricing of cocoa. This is your record, as far as that sector is concerned. He made references to the fact that we should have sold the cocoa beans forward, like we used to do. True. That was the system in place. And for 8 good years, what did they do? They bastardized that system. Remember in my initial submission, I made references to the fact that in 2022, Cocoa Board indicated that they were unable to service their cocoa bonds. Now, because of that signal, even your international investors or buyers knew that the cocoa board was struggling. And that was why the government struggled between 2023 and 2024 to even secure the cocoa syndicated loan. Eventually, when they secured it, remember that even the release of the tranche is delayed. That informed the decision again of that management of which he was part of to officially write to Ministry of Finance for a bridge financing of about $70 million US. These signals to the international community was clear that this is an organization that was on its knees. You did not know at the time that these signals had implications on future cocoa pricing and the implications on the average cocoa farmer. You didn't know. And what did you do about it? So yes, like I indicated, promises were made. And that is why upon assumption of office, we did not mince words when we said that the first tax was to clean the mess of the last regime. Nobody should underrate the mess and recklessness that we're subjected to as a country. And mind you, in 2024-2025 cocoa season, when they attempted to secure the syndicated loan, they failed and hide under all kinds of flimsy excuses. But the reality was that they could not succeed in securing that syndicated loan because government had indicated that the republic itself was unable to pay its debts. And that was the time we introduced the so-called domestic debt exchange program, if you remember. And the international capital markets were locked out because of your poor economic management. And when you were poorly managing the economy, my brother, did you think that the poor management of the economy alone affected teachers? It was affecting only teachers. It was affecting the cocoa industry. And that's why we kept on prompting you. So you were able to get that syndicated loan for 2024. And you see, the beauty of syndication was simply that, look, it prepared you to be able to sell the cocoa beans forward easily. But you bastardized that opportunity for Ghana. And we're now running a system where our international buyers had to send forward in about 60% of the cost of cocoa. Then we would supply. Then the rest of the 40% subsequently we supply and they pay and we supply. We had succeeded in supplying about 530,000 tons in direct compliance with the 60% that was forwarded to Ghana government by our international buyers. We were at that stage when prices fell at the international commodities market. And so the about 50,000 that was subsequently supplied by the cocoa farmer through the LBCs to cocoa board was being held by cocoa board because moving into the markets then would have meant that selling those cocoa beans cheaper than was initially budgeted for. How is this the fault of the management, the current management of cocoa board? How is this the fault of the current management of cocoa board? Absolutely not. And so when you heard cocoa farmers saying that they were not paid, it was as a result of our inability to sell that 50,000 tons for less when commodity prices had come down. And so Cocoa Board had to find ways, with the support of the Ministry of Finance, as to how to service that particular debt. And so this is your record. This is not our record. So now we are our problem.
Do I respond?
Our problem. I'm sure he will give you the opportunity. She'll give you the opportunity to respond.
I've seen that you're writing, especially when you mentioned the syndicated loan. You see, on our failure to secure the syndicated loan. I see that you have a few responses.
Yes, you see, but I'm coming. You see, Lily, it is not enough to pretend to understand the cocoa industry. It is not enough to pretend to be an authority in that industry. It is not enough to be able to diagnose all the problems in the industry. The simple question that needs an answer to is that what did you do to improve the conditions of Cocoa Board at the time you were leaving office? These are critical things because the NDC government in 2016 handed over a working Cocoa Board to you that could still secure syndicated loans. The NDC government put in place structures, and that led to unprecedented yields in 2017, even after we exited. The simple question is, we wouldn't have been here if you had better managed that sector in the last 8 years. And today, my brother is questioning the decision of even government to maintain the cocoa prices, the light season, what's the name? Prices. Oh, he says that, look, we need to know about the dollar to cedi ratio and how that has impacted that decision. Many several factors affect government decisions, not just in the cocoa sector, and especially when it comes to pricing in the cocoa sector. Lily, do you remember last year when the cedi gained strength and some measure of stability, and government still maintained the cocoa prices for that period and argued that, look, even there's some kind of subvention to the cocoa farmer because ordinarily there's some measure of stability in terms of our cedi, which meant that government should have reviewed the prices in a way to bring that down. Government decided, yes, but government decided to bear that brunt. So at the time that myself and you in the market, we were exchanging for about 10.25. The cocoa farmer had more Ghana cedi in terms of the cedi to dollar equivalent. Did they make references to it? They told us that we're engaged in politics of convenience. That was what they said. Today, all of a sudden, there seemed to be a bit of decline in the value of the cedi. Now we are talking about $1 to about 12 cedis, approximately, if I'm to go by his figures. And government has announced its decision to maintain the prices. Whether it is influenced by the short-term fall of the cedi, or it is influenced by government decision to bear a burden of the cost, the most important denominator in all of this is that, look, the decision goes to the pockets of the average Ghanaian cocoa farmer.
Okay.
And that is the preoccupation of this. And so you see, enough of the lectures, enough of the beautiful sermons, and enough of the propaganda clothed in expertise when it comes to the cocoa industry. That, look, we did A, you are doing B, you are deceiving the average cocoa farmer. The fact remains that we promised 70% of the FOB. We delivered at a point, and we are still committed to that point. And our desire is even to go beyond that.
Okay.
And we are doing just that. You have collapsed a number.
Even
you have asked him the state of PVC today.
The prices on the world market increase.
Ask him the state of PVC and what they handed over to us.
No, I'm asking. You say that you are willing to go above. So I'm asking, even if the prices on the world markets go higher, you're willing to go above the...
No. I said we are even willing to do more in line with our expectations of the cocoa pricing as far as the international market goes. Look, we can do little. If prices continue to decline, we can do absolutely little. But if we see an improvement, absolutely. But if we see an improvement, that's why, as part of the measures intended to get the best from that sector, the NDC government announced a number of measures, including considering the possibility of processing cocoa beans locally. And yes, it is true. We can have, the discussions have always centered around whether we are going to produce, we are using either secondary or primary or tertiary. But the most important thing is that as a republic, we're on the path of primary processing.
Okay.
There has been incremental growth from 20 to 30 to 45%. Now we are looking at going to about 50%. That is the national policy.
What are the timelines?
Oh, President Mahama announced that this year we should look at that as far as the cocoa season is concerned. And that is what they are working on.
Just to help you, he said by 2028.
No, but it starts this year. That is why they met the local producers. Are you not aware?
You see, okay, no, you...
Don't worry, when I come back to you.
You see. But
okay. I'll deal with that one.
So, my brother, as for the politics, you can do the politics.
Oh, you had the opportunity. You are the guys who did politics with
you had the opportunity of staying there for 8 solid years. 8. And if you consider the fact that today the rot in cocoa board is coming to bear, it should be an embarrassment to your leadership, in all honesty. Because enough of the talks and the rhetorics. We needed action. And the good people of this country gave you the opportunity to act. You failed. And this is not the first time. Your record is known. Prior to you coming to office in 2017, your flag bearer today, as running mate to Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, moved from lecture hall to lecture hall and promised the good people of this country an economic recovery that would move Ghana from third world to first world. Do you remember? If the fundamentals are weak, your exchange rate will expose you. What was the record you eventually left behind? So it is your record.
Okay.
You say A and do B. And that is why I said that, look, if you are looking for lectures about the problems of Cocoa Board, if you are looking about how to run Cocoa Board, the lectures, not the action, you can be forgiven to listen to my brothers like Fifi and the MPP. But if you are looking for solutions to the problems of that industry, action rooted in sincerity, not just in rhetoric and words, then be rest assured that it is John Dramani Mahama and the National Democratic Congress that demonstrates such commitment.
Okay.
And the facts are clear.
Well, the fact you refer to is when the minority spokesperson on health told us that
the quota system?
Yes, that it was wrong for the MPP to say that nursing training colleges must have a quota system. And having a quota system was a bad thing to do as a government. After a year and a half as Minister for Health, he says, now the wisdom is in what the MPP was doing, and we should go back to that. Lack of principle, insincerity demonstrated at the highest order, and scam of a government is what these people represent. So let me proceed by starting with the question he posed.
See how my brother is dancing around.
What did they do when they had the opportunity?
When they had the opportunity, as in prior to 2016?
No, from 2017 to 2024 at Cocoa Board.
Oh, you mean the question he posed to you?
Yeah, that's what I'm going to answer.
Okay.
And I need to know the outcome of what they did. I don't know.
From the time they took over to this time, I do not know if we can talk about one innovation that has happened at Cocoa Board. If we can point to one innovation that has happened to Cocoa Board, but I'll point to him. Under the MPP, we introduced what is known as the living income differential. The living income differential is an innovation that rakes in $400 extra on every ton of cocoa sold. It was an innovation that was brought to Cocoa Board. We brought the rehabilitation program that took care of farmers who had lost their cocoa farms to the cocoa swollen shoot viral disease. It did not happen prior to the MPP coming into office. We introduced slashes that could also weed farms for cocoa farmers. That did not happen prior to the MPP coming into office. We are doing 2 times pruning as a way, spraying as a way of managing pests for cocoa farms. It did not happen prior to the MPP coming into office. So if he talks about what we introduced or what we brought on board, something changed. On top of that,
what was the
would you listen,
effect?
please?
No, what was the net effect of all what you have mentioned? I'm granting you that on the finances of Cocoa Board.
Allow. We are not fighting.
No, we are not. I'm asking you a simple question. He is responding to my question. I'm asking him. So all what he has mentioned. What was the net effect of all that on the functionality of Cocoa Board?
So I will deal with it. 1, it increases revenue because every cocoa sold brings in extra $400. And if he says that is not significant, or if that is not, oh please. I thought you said we're going to ask questions and I'll answer. Not a commentary behind it. Thank you very much. So that is extra. Apart from that, farmers who lost their livelihood as a result of recklessness to abandon the management of CSSVD, they lost their livelihood entirely. These farmers now have their farms back. They have their livelihood back as a result of the rehabilitation program that was introduced by the MPP. Is he suggesting that is not relevant? Is he suggesting that is not important to the cocoa farmer? Well, he may sit in Accra and wear suit and tie and think that the farmer who has lost his entire livelihood and that livelihood has been restored is not important. These are people who are grateful for what they have experienced. So please, don't talk about it. You're talking about processing cocoa. When we took over, we were processing between 23 to 27% of cocoa produced in Ghana. At the time we're leaving office, we had increased it to 45%. And is he talking about this not being important and relevant? A significant improvement? So please, do not act as though people went to Cocoa Board, just sat there for being their sake. I am talking about clear, tangible achievement that you can point to. Maybe, just maybe, he will talk about one innovation they have introduced, apart from fighting amongst themselves. So let me proceed. He's talking about rollover contracts.
You say maybe he will talk about one innovation.
Yeah, maybe, just one.
What, do you know that innovation?
I do not know.
Okay.
So I'll give him the opportunity to tell me. He talked about rollover contract and rollover contracts being a debt on Cocoa Board. That's a lie. Rollover contract do not constitute a debt. And whoever gave you that information, tell him that that's a lie. He shouldn't brief you with wrong information. So what are rollover contracts? Rollover contracts are contracts you sign with buyers. And you tell them that, okay, next year or this period, I shall supply you X amount of cocoa. That that promise made to the buyer, if you are able to deliver, you go back to the buyer and negotiate. And when you negotiate with the buyer, you promise then to deliver the cocoa at a certain period. Next year, or beginning of the year, when the producer price review committee meets to determine price of cocoa, one of the things they take into consideration is the rollover contract available. And it forms part of the determination of the price for the cocoa farmer. It does not become a debt. It just forms part of your determination of the cocoa price. So if you say that it has become a debt on Cocoa Board books, what are you talking about? So please, let me proceed. These people who make these stories and go on and on and on and talk about the fact that, well, there were debts. As if when the MPP took over in 2017, there was no debt at Cocoa Board. There was almost 20 billion Ghana cedi debt at Cocoa Board. So I am not saying that it's a good thing for Cocoa Board to have debt on its books, but they should not create an impression that this was something new that happened. And let me look at another thing he talked about. Yes, he talked about syndication. Syndication. Yes, Cocoa Board in 2024-2025 cocoa season took a decision that we want to move away from the syndication. Indeed, process started, and that's where we started.
What was the rationale behind it?
So the rationale behind it is how much, one, we pay as interest on the loan we procure. And we believe that hundreds of millions of dollars paid as interest, we could find a different way of raising revenue to buy cocoa instead of doing 30 years of syndication without a change. So that is one. Apart from that,
so it was not that you could not secure the syndication?
No.
Okay.
The second reason was also the fact that the buyers could time you when to sell your cocoa.
Okay.
Because they know very well that by February, March, you should start the process of negotiating with your buyers. Sorry, with the banks, syndicating banks. And before you can also procure the syndication facility, you need some amount of cocoa contract, because that is what you use to guarantee the syndication facility. So whatever it is, within that period, you are compelled to sell your cocoa. I'm not saying that it is wrong to sell forward. There's nothing wrong selling forward. But you should also not be, as a trader, be predictable. Because if they can predict you that this is the window you sell your cocoa, then it goes against you. So the decision was, let us not be predictable. We should be able to decide when to sell forward and when not to sell forward. Okay. And for which reason we should have that flexibility. So we opted for different options. One is the system we are, which is in force today. The other one is what I have heard the management of Cocoa Board talk about, the fact that why don't we go to, for example, the pension funds and other sources of raising money, both domestic and international, to buy cocoa? Because I remember a meeting with the MPRA and how much money they had available. And the question was, why do we restrict ourselves to syndication? So it is a good thing that, well, they have realized that step we started taking, they want to follow up on that. So it is not to say that opting out of syndication meant that something untoward has happened. He was talking about raising cocoa bonds. Cocoa bonds, we heard part of the cocoa bond debt they talk about today was as a result
of the bonds
of the cocoa bills they raised, which we inherited, which we're servicing. Okay. And then you come back to meet the very things you created. And you say that, oh, well, they have created a mess. So please, the bottom line of all this argument is that you made a promise. The promise was to pay the cocoa farmer better. Have you lived up to that promise? No. Bear in mind, the MPP took over the administration of this country at the time cocoa price was 475 Ghana cedis a bag. At the time the MPP was leaving, a bag of cocoa was 3,100 Ghana cedis. The NDC taking over, at the time the bag was 3,100 Ghana cedis. Today, they are paying 2,500 Ghana cedis for the cocoa farmer. And let nobody tell a lie that they did not know the situation at Cocoa Board. Because I remember very well, the finance minister, Atu Forson, he was a ranking member of the Finance Committee of Parliament. Every year, Cocoa Board accounts and details of things that were happening at Cocoa Board was presented to Parliament for scrutiny. And he knew exactly the basis for which he made the promise to pay the cocoa farmer 7,000. And today, they are paying them a paltry 2,500. That's how insensitive these people are.
To the next topic.
Lily, just under a minute.
Okay, sure.
I need to expose another level of hypocrisy and inconsistency on the part of my brother. In his earlier submission, you heard my brother say or accuse the current management of Cocoa Board of failing to sell the cocoa beans forward.
So if you listen carefully, I know the finish.
You can come in. You can come in.
I know the
I beg you.
You go ahead.
I beg you. You listened to him, and that it was the reason why we had to endure the unfortunate spectacle of cutting the cocoa prices. Yeah. But in this his latest submission, you heard him attempt to run away from the known fact that it was because of the economic conditions that made it practically impossible for them to secure a syndication. And it is an attempt to explain away that. What did he say? He said that they had a problem with the model where international buyers were able to predict prices even before the season opens because of the nature or structure of syndication. You heard him. And so they wanted a situation where they would be in charge of the cocoa beans and determine the prices in terms of their negotiation with cocoa farmers. How different is that so-called strategy?
I'll show you the difference.
Please be patient.
I'll show you the difference.
How different is that so-called strategy from what you turned around to accuse the current management of, especially when they were not doing so under syndication? Okay. You see the double standards.
No, you've asked the question.
And the politics of convenience. No, please. Oh, my brother. Don't be jittery. Calm down.
I'll have to move to my next topic.
We know when they are exposed.
You asked me for a minute.
When they are exposed, they are jittery.
Round up. So we can move to our next topic.
So he asked the question. So let me answer.
No, don't worry.
He is proceeding.
Oh, can I proceed?
Asking a question to make a statement where the question has not been answered.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, but
Can I answer?
Can I land?
Hold on.
Don't be jittery, my brother. Calm down.
Hold on.
You see, Lily, again, finally on this point, I listened to my brother reference the fact that, we all inherit challenges, and so you should fix it. Fair point. And that you people left a burden on us in 2017. But that if you look at rollover contracts, it cannot constitute a debt on Cocoa Board. That is a fat lie and a misunderstanding of accounting principles. And I'll demonstrate why. If you signed your carry forward contracts for 2,600 per ton for this cocoa season. And you were unable to service those contracts at that rate. The coming season, if cocoa prices at the international commodities market increase to 5,000 per ton, it simply means that you have in excess of 300,000 tons that you were not able to supply at 2,600 in 2023-2024 cocoa season. That you should be making more profit. Rather, you would have to go and undersell to service those existing contracts at 2,600 when the world market prevailing prices are 5,000.
Okay, so let me answer.
And so when you do that, your earnings for the year would fall, and your inability to pay cocoa farmers would be another challenge. And so it becomes a debt burden. Because you can't look into the eyes of cocoa farmers and say that because we were unable to service cocoa beans for last year, as far as our contractual arrangements are concerned, we are going to pay you less. How do you do that?
Okay, so let me answer.
That is how you run down the institution.
The bit about rollover contracts. What I said was that the cocoa board pricing mechanism has an inherent system that takes care of rollover contract and does not make rollover contracts become a debt on the books of cocoa board. So that's by the side. You talked about the fact that I said selling forward was a good thing, and this time round I was also talking about predictability. If he was listening, I made the point that cocoa sales or the terminal gives you an opportunity to sell within 18-month period where you can trade cocoa. But with the syndication, you have a specific period you must meet a certain number of contracts to guarantee your syndication facility.
You see?
So you should not box yourself in a situation where you are compelled within a short period to raise a certain number of contracts or amount of contract to serve to as a guarantee for the facility. Whereas you can have the opportunity within 18-month period to sell. These are two clear different things. So if he didn't get it right, at least nothing stopped him from asking for further explanation. Instead of proceeding on wrong footing to make an argument. Of course, he only wanted to do propaganda.
I will respond again. The viewers are better judges.
Of course. He only wanted to do propaganda.
Have been exposed. The inconsistency has been exposed. That is the most important.
Your prejudiced mind, unfortunately, the explanation has cured that.
No, it has not. It has not. It's because of time. That's why I don't want to respond.
And you stick to it.
But the viewers understand.
Thank you, gentlemen. Let's talk about the former Chief Justice news book that she's resigned. And according to sources, we realized that actually she's not been attending. She resigned last year. She's not been attending meetings. And many link it to the removal of former Chief Justice Gertrude Tokuno, especially when she dissented during the establishment of a prima facie in her removal. Many say that they applaud her for her principle. And I see that a lot of members of the NPP are raising questions on the removal of the CJ. Thankfully, he's a lawyer. Fifi.
Well, thank you. So let me start by saying that we do not know the reason for Madame Sufaya Akufu's decision to resign as a member of the Council of State. Let me also say that this is the first time a member of such a noble group has decided to resign her position. Let me further state that Madame Sufaya Akufu, from what we've observed from her public engagement, is still very active, of sound mind, healthy, and is in a position to continue serving as a member of the Council of State. So it is not because she's not in a position to do so. But if you look at Chapter 9 of our Constitution, it makes reference to the Council of State and who can be a member of the Council of State. Indeed, the Council of State Act of 2020 also talks about the same thing which is in the Constitution of our country, and who can be a member of the Council of State. Indeed, it says that the president must appoint, and then 4A, which talks about the composition of the Council of State. The very first one, that AI, is the
person who
has served as
a Chief Justice.
A Chief Justice. There are 3 living former Chief Justices we have in our country. Madam Sophia Akuffo, Madam Georgina Wood, Mrs. Georgina Wood, former Chief Justice, who served as a Council of State member in the previous administration, and then Justice Enimi Eboa, a former Chief Justice. So the president had a choice to choose between these 3 noble persons. I do not want to believe that because Madam Sophia Akuffo, who openly complained about a government decision under the MPP administration,
the haircut.
The haircut. I do not want to believe that members of government probably felt that, this is someone who will stand up against the MPP. Bring her in. And then, of course, she will speak against the MPP. I share the position by people who have said that the woman has demonstrated a very principled position as a Ghanaian. But I do not want to go further because I still do not know her reason for resigning from the Council of State. But of course, just as you mentioned, certain things have happened, and it could be the basis for us to draw some conclusions out of what is happening. But the most worrying part of it, Lily, why has government kept quiet about this? Did they have to take the media to tell us that Madame Sophia Akuffo has resigned her position as a member of the Council of State? Is it a case that the NDC, President Mahama, does not see the relevance of the constitutional provision that says that the Council of State must have a former Supreme Court judge, a former Chief Justice, as a member? Because from what we are hearing, unless maybe Hamza can provide us further information that says that, the woman resigned yesterday, but from what we are hearing, this happened last year. And if what we are hearing that it is as a result of how the former Chief Justice, Madam Mrs. Tokunu, was hanged out of her position, if that is the reason, bear in mind this happened somewhere August, September last year. And almost a year, the president does not see the need to have a former Chief Justice as part of the Council of State. Or is it a case that, if this one cannot be there, which one? Do I go back to Georgina Wood or do I go to Enimi Eboa? Charlie, I don't have a choice, so let me just keep quiet about it. Really? The president does not want to respect the constitution of our country that says that he must appoint a former Chief Justice as a member of the Council of State. Really? The president, the constitution. The president is disrespecting it. And he has decided to even keep quiet about it. Why? What is he hiding? I think it is unfortunate that there's lack of transparency in all this, because if an institution like the Council of State, something as important as a key member resigning, and then the government decide not to let us know, I am only wondering the number of things the people are sitting on. What they are refusing to let us know.
Okay.
The media, thank you, at least, for drawing our attention to the fact that Would the woman just step out for stepping out sake? I don't think so. I think she has demonstrated that she's someone who, when she disagrees and has a strong view on something, she will make a position known. And she did that under the MPP. People were asking, really? A former Chief Justice demonstrating? And that is her.
Okay.
So if she, today, has stepped out of the Council of State, and bear in mind, recently I saw her at that IEA event. She is fine. She is still that brilliant judge.
But
whose counsel will be required at the Council of State. They don't want it. They just want the people who will agree with everything that the president and his people want done. Bear in mind that she is the only one who said, no, I disagree with how you are treating the former Chief Justice. What do they want? They only want yes men. They do not want someone who will disagree. So let her go.
Okay.
But they didn't say let her go. She resigned. She voluntarily.
So to them, it was a party time. This is the person who is not just going to take anything we submit to her, hook, line, and sinker. We want yes men. So if that person is going to be here and when we want to do our Buga Buga Takashi activities, she will not agree with us, we are happy to see her back. The question I ask again, Lily, the president has a responsibility under the Constitution to appoint a former Chief Justice as a member of Council of State. And if we are to believe that she resigned somewhere in August last year, almost a year, the president has refused to respect the Constitution, and that is troubling.
Okay.
You see, Lily, first of all, I think that my responsibility is not to be moved by the petty politicking of my brother. As far as
share
that issue is
information with
concerned.
us.
And I have always maintained that when it comes to issues of the judiciary, and most importantly, respected personalities of that institution, one needs to do an analysis that is rooted in law and to a very large extent one that is surrounded by sincere motives. And that is what I seek to do this morning. First of all, I do not know, as a matter of fact, that the former Chief Justice, Sophia Akufo, has resigned from the Council of State. Just like you and my brother, I have also read in the news that this appears to be what is happening. And even the news reportage, I'm told, and by what I have read, does not suggest authoritatively that indeed she has resigned.
But you don't think that, not to cut you don't think that if she had not resigned, by now there should be a government, because this news has been flying since yesterday.
Yes, I'll get there. I'll get to all that.
This is an uncomfortable topic, my brother. Please allow him.
This is comfortable.
It's very comfortable. And you see, first of all, Lily, so the reality is that we do not know whether indeed the resignation has taken place or not. But if indeed she has resigned, I say without any iota of hesitation that this was long overdue. And I'll explain why.
Okay, I'll
explain why. If you remember, many of us, after the suspension of the Chief Justice, called for the removal of Justice Sophia Akufo from the Council of State. I'm a lawyer. I'm a Democrat. I respect the sanctity of constitutional bodies. The Council of State is a creation of the 1992 Constitution. Lily. And you need to exhibit some measure of self-restraint and respect for the Constitution if you are a member of that body. And a former Chief Justice ought to know better. You sit in council meetings, take decisions with your colleagues. Whether you agree or disagree with those decisions, they become binding decisions of the council. Yet, you accepted to be part of that decision, whether you voted for or against or abstained. You participated in the decision whether or not a prima facie determination had been made against the former Chief Justice, based on which the president proceeded to act. Then you became the first person to become leading witnesses for the said suspended Chief Justice before the Commission of Inquiry, when you were part of the higher body that established that prima facie case against her. What kind of hypocrisy?
Which law stops her from being a witness?
Please. Conflict of interest, and I'll get there.
How is there a conflict?
Hold on. He says you get there. Let him explain.
Be patient.
We are waiting.
You see, and this is very important, because one, your relationship with the woman is known. Your relationship with Georgina Wood is not hidden.
Tokuno or Georgina Wood?
Yeah, it was in a Tokuno. It's not hidden. You have been given a constitutional responsibility to be a statesperson regardless of your personal relationships with people.
So in your estimation, her personal relationship with her made it biased on her behalf?
I can give you a litany of events. Look, she's an excellent judge, and she has been when she was on the bench.
Great.
But when it comes to the national interest, I have always had my reservations. And I'll demonstrate why. The only time we saw Sophia Akufo demonstrating was when her own personal benefits was at stake. The government domestic debt exchange program that was giving them a high cut. Yeah. When the likes of Ahmed Swale were murdered in this country, did you hear her?
There was no demonstration ongoing.
There were demonstrations held for accountability. So, in the case of Ahmed Swale,
so Akufo was supposed to be part of every demonstration in Ghana.
I was quiet. Please. Look, you are a journalist and a former one at that. The fundamental human rights are things we should not take for granted. And as a judge, every judge must be concerned about the rights, especially of journalists.
Sure.
And if you are a true stateswoman or man, and something like that was happening in your country, and you kept quiet, it raises concerns. That is not all. In this country, we've had, under the reign of the MPP, we had all kinds of rights abuses against individuals. You never saw her.
But do you know when it's important to do that.
Don't do this.
At the time, Ahmed Swale died.
Why are you so?
She was at the bench. She wasn't an ordinary citizen.
Why are you so? Why are you so uncomfortable?
Is he suggesting that the Chief Justice should have left the bench to step out to go and demonstrate?
Didn't the current Chief Justice raise concerns about the state of Galamsey?
Yes.
Did he go on demonstration?
No, but she should have spoken.
Okay.
She could have spoken.
At an event he was invited.
Don't do this. When you were speaking, I was quiet. I beg you. I'm just showing you how selfish-driven she has been. And I'm not mincing words.
This is harsh.
That's why I said that as a judge, she was an excellent one. But you see, that is the problem with this country. Sometimes we allow people to use their expertise to mask insincerity on their part. And it is time we started pointing out these things. Yes, she joined pensioners to demonstrate because she was personally affected. Give me an example where Sophia Akufo stood out for Ghana.
I can't recall any.
When she was not at the receiving end. Give me one example. Why are we doing this to our country? And I think that it is that smoke screen that even led to people recommending her for appointment to the Council of State. In all honesty, I had serious reservations when her appointment was announced. But as a consummate Democrat, I needed to respect it. Lily, look, you were part of the decision-making body. You took a decision with your colleagues. It became a decision of the Council of State. You then turn around to go and represent the same accused person that was brought before you as a witness when the Council of State was still not done with this work. Remember that even after the committee's work, President would have needed to confer with the Council of State to make a final determination on the matter. That is clearly unethical. Clearly unethical, especially from a former Chief Justice.
But the law didn't bar her from doing that.
Look, I am telling you, even if you look at our judgments, references are made to ethics. And in the law profession, it's something we do not joke with. And that's why I'm saying that she ought to know better. She ought to know better. And again, I felt that that conduct was in itself enough for her to be removed. As to whether she has been spoken to resign honorably or not, I may not be able to tell. But her continuous presence on that council was untenable as far as I'm concerned. Clearly untenable. And a major blot on the functions of the Council of State. So it is indeed a blessing, if it is true, that she has resigned from her role as far as her membership of the Council of State is concerned. And I've listened to my brother say that, but why hasn't the president appointed? Why have they kept that information from us? The news is saying that she sent her resignation to the Council of State. Have you cross-checked whether indeed the Council of State have forwarded say to His Excellency the President?
I don't think you are inferring that Doajahu has failed to do the right thing.
I'm asking you a simple question. If we are all proceeding on the basis of...
I know Doajahu, he won't do that.
Please. We are all proceeding on the basis of ifs. If indeed she submitted her resignation, what's the guarantee that it has been forwarded to the President? And you know how these bodies work. Now, mind you, even if you look at the Constitution, it tells you clearly under Article 89 that even if there's, if someone is removed from office, it does not prevent the work of the Council of State from proceeding. You are seeking to create an impression that, as if NDC sympathizers met and decided that a prima facie determination had been made, and she disagreed with that verdict. Really? Out of about 31 or 32 appointees on the Council of State. 31.
She was the
only 11 are appointed by the President. 31 minus 11 gives you what? 20. And you think that the presidential appointees of 11 would have control over the rest of the 20 in reaching decisions of that nature? Mind you, this is the same president who, when petitions were filed against former Chief Justice Georgina Woods, at the time she was sitting Chief Justice, she looked at the merit of the petitions with the Council of State and decided that a prima facie determination had not been made against an MPP-appointed Chief Justice at the time. Is that not a fact? You brought petitions against Loretta Lamptey, an appointee of the NDC, leading members of your political party, Fifi. The same President John Dramani Mahama looked at the content of the petitions you brought, referred it to the Chief Justice, and concluded that indeed a prima facie determination had been made. And President Mahama proceeded on the basis of the recommendations of the Chief Justice to act and remove Loretta Lamptey from office. That is principle. That is man committed to the fidelity of the Constitution. This same former Chief Justice, Sophia Kufo, today she's complaining about Article 146, and that's the level of hypocrisy I detest.
Why?
That same Chief Justice was the one who presided over the removal of Charlotte Osei. The same Article 146. In that case, she was the only person who determined, who made the prima facie determination, not 31 members. She alone. Article 146 gave her the power as an individual to make a determination in terms of the prima facie. In the case of Charlotte Osei, she did on the basis of procurement breaches and established a prima facie case against Charlotte Osei that Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and the MPP used to remove her from office. At that time, she was applying 146. Especially when the Constitution empowered her as a sole arbiter to make that determination, she did not feel that procurement breaches were minor offenses that should not lead to the removal of a former chief, an electoral commissioner. Suddenly, the reasons why Georgina, Tokono has been removed are such that they are trivial. I have always argued that issues that may not qualify to remove a JCR president at the University of Ghana from office must be enough to remove a Chief Justice from office.
Why?
Because that role is a sensitive one. It is about the freedoms of individuals.
Okay.
So yes, you may say that a JCR president squandering money. He's not supposed to squander. Oh, we can forgive him. Let him be. But the office of Chief Justice, the leader of our judiciary, that must be an example. Even Lily, you, misconduct that will not qualify to remove you as host of this program must be enough grounds to remove a Chief Justice or a judge. Because they are expected to live beyond...
They have a mandate.
Yes, because it is about the freedoms of people.
Yeah.
So what he said, and what does she mean by trivial matters? As for my brother can be forgiven to do his politics. But look, this country, somebody must rise up and defend it at a point in time. And that is what we are doing.
Thank you.
That is why I dared you to give me a classical example where Madam Sophia Akufo rose up in defense of matters that did not directly affect her interests. One. In this country, we were there when the same former Chief Justice bought lands at cantonments for 7,000 Ghana cedis. Issues of ethics. And that's why I had a problem with her appointment. 7,000 Ghana cedis. Cantonments. Would they sell such a land to you, Lily? But she bought it without apology. And that is why I've said that, look, as a judge, an excellent one. I've read her judgment. Indeed, I fell in love with when I read her judgment in Moko and Kuma. Excellent rendition of company law. Brilliant judge by all standards. But when it comes to her ethics, I have my reservations. And the reservations are serious.
Okay.
And so we should not allow our space today to be inundated by whether the woman has resigned or not. Because for some of us, it will be a blessing if indeed the news eventually comes that she has resigned.
Because
regardless of who they will bring to.
She's biased.
As for me, it is not just bias. She's driven by her self-interest. And you don't need such people to occupy such sensitive positions. Because it is not about yourself. It is about the larger Ghanaian populace.
Public interest.
Public interest. And if you do not understand that language, then you have no business sitting as part of members of the Council of State. Indeed, you are not qualified to be a part of that particular council. And that is my position. But I have listened to my brother go on. President Mahama should appoint. Why has he left a constitutional a lacuna in the... I have demonstrated anyway that even minus her, the council can still continue.
There are 30 of them.
But as for the MPP...
So, okay.
But you see, so, there is a constitutional provision that must be fulfilled, Council.
Yes, but I'm telling you that if it is demonstrated, if it is proven that she has resigned, President Mahama will have no difficulty in replacing her. That's
and it's taking him over almost a year.
Secondly,
even though
because we are proceeding on the basis of it's not so. Are you for sure? Are you for sure that she has resigned?
It's the same basis I am also proceeding.
So, but even if she has not resigned,
you would have
I know that certain members of the UP party have already filed petitions against her, calling for her removal from the bench. Indeed, it was filed last year. And I gave my blessing to that petition. Because she has no business being on that bench or council. That is my position.
Yes, Lily, I coincidentally last night I was on social media and I chanced on a video by our former president, may so rest in peace, Jerry John Rawlings, talking about babies with sharp teeth in the NDC. Hamza, Hamza's brother is my very good friend.
Al Hassan.
Yes. I don't want Hamza to join the babies with sharp teeth.
Unfortunately, I can't because I'm over 40 years. So I can't be a baby.
No, babies with sharp teeth.
I'm over 40 years. I can't be a baby.
The way he's gone after the former Chief Justice, for me, is troubling.
It is not. Honestly,
I was not expecting anything like that from Hamza.
Why?
A good question.
You know what? The NDC as a political party, which Hamza is a member, during the 2024 election, considered Madam Sophia Akufo as a respected statesman, whose statesperson, whose words, I was referring to the Bible man.
I know.
Statesperson, whose words were valuable to be the basis of deciding who governs our country. He went around this country with a picture, her sound bites, and her videos.
Because that was the true picture on the gun, wasn't it?
Yes. He's a lawyer. He knows very well that someone who is not credible cannot be a basis for a decision to be made in court. But this woman, Hamza considers not to be a faithful Ghanaian. Her soundbite was the basis for which they went to the Ghanaian public to say that vote out the MPP, because look at this honorable former Chief Justice of our country, what she says about the MPP.
Because not to cut you, Fifi, sorry. This particular Chief Justice was a Chief Justice under the NPP.
So, you know what? The fact that somebody is a member of the MPP, if that person has done something wrong, it does not make it right because the person served under the MPP. Mm-hmm. Hamza, sitting here, if an NDC person has done something wrong, he wouldn't justify it, or he wouldn't say that because the person is NDC or served under the NDC, whatever that person has done, it makes it right. So that argument is moot. We do not even have to go to that argument. They believed that words of Madam Sophia Akufo was worth going to the Ghanaian with to vote for the NDC. Today, what she is saying doesn't sound soothing to their ears. So Hamza and his ilk go after her the manner in which my brother has done this morning. It's so disheartening listening to him and how he decided to go after this respected statesperson. I do not want us to go on that tangent.
Okay.
Yes, we may disagree with someone. Yes, we may feel that what she has done, it is not something good, or we do not even like it and the style. But how you go after a former Chief Justice of our country just because she has done what? She has gone to serve as a witness. But he should tell us.
You don't think that?
Where in our constitution that Madam Sophia Akufo was stopped from appearing as a witness? Her rights as a citizen.
In a matter that she was going to sit to determine the outcome. In a matter that she was going to sit to determine the outcome, and then she comes as a witness.
You know, a witness is not a judge. That's different.
True.
A witness is not a judge. That's a declared extension. And we should not confuse that.
That was going to inure to biases.
No, it is not bias.
Okay.
The role of a witness in any case is to show that this is the information I have. No judge is bound to take a decision by what the witness has said. So she had no power.
But you know that
she had
can
no
influence
power.
the judgment. Upon the information given, you know it can influence the judgment.
So wait a minute. The fact that something has happened in this studio, I am present, I observed it. If I am called to come and give an account, my account is not to benefit Lily or to benefit Hamza. My account is to help the process. That is all it is. If someone...
Was it the committee that called her?
Oh, wait a minute.
In helping the
she
process...
was only called to share information that will help the committee to arrive at a decision in the interest of our country.
Called by who?
Not.
Called by who? She was called by who?
Wait a minute. Do you know?
She was called by who?
Oh, wait a minute. I thought you finished.
Please allow me.
I'll have my right of reply.
Yes. You know very well that witnesses are not people who are there to serve your interest. Witnesses appear in a matter to help the process. Primarily. They are there to help the process, primarily. So the fact that the woman was there as a witness is not to say that she was there to do the bidding of Madam Tokunu.
You are wrong here.
She was not going to lie to favor her. She was only going to give information that will help the process. So if you say that the person has appeared and for that reason she must be sacked. Sacked? Hamza sat here and said that the Chief Justice was supposed to step onto the streets, demonstrate every day because she demonstrated under the MPP administration. So at every point in time, she was supposed to go out and demonstrate. Really? But you said she didn't demonstrate on other matters, and so that was a problem. No. You see, the fact that she even chose to do that, there were others who also had concerns about the fact that she chose to do that because they felt that, well, she could have channeled her grievances in a different way. But you see, it rather points to the fact that this is a woman. And I remember very well, during the course of the demonstration, she said something. She said, it is not about her. And you know very well that if it was not, the woman was, there's the one who retired on her salary. She retired on her salary. She would be fine without that money. But she felt compelled to stand in for other older persons of our society for their monies to be paid. And you say that this is a selfish human being. Someone who fought for the interest of older persons in our society is selfish. The Council of State, he says, the presence of Madam Sofa Akufo makes their work bad. This is a council that the Yoko is investigating its member for fraud. The Council of State. A member of the Council of State, Yoko says the person has engaged in fraudulent act. That member is still on the council, but Hamza does not see the presence of that member to be a problem, but rather someone who went to a committee to share her knowledge on a matter is rather the one who is denigrating that council. I beg to differ. The woman, like I said, I do not know her basis. We are all operating on the assumption of the information that has been shared, which has not been collaborated yet. But she cannot be a subject of abuse.
Okay. Just
as the NDC people, the babies with the sharp teeth, would want us to do. It is wrong.
Lily, you see, again, my brother is all bubbly this morning in the chair. I don't know what is making you feel that uncomfortable. But you see,
really uncomfortable?
Yes, you see, with my utterances. But you see, first of all, it is a fat lie. And you see, the NPP should not do this. You in particular, I know you, I respect you, you are a gentleman. Don't be induced to playing the unfortunate politics rooted in lies of the NPP. Lie. Especially if you don't understand a sector.
Which lie did I talk about?
And I'll demonstrate you one. It is a lie that witnesses are not in court to help accused persons or prosecution. It is a fat lie. The whole idea of bringing a witness is to help your case. That's one.
Help arrive at a decision.
Yes, in your favor. So, that's one.
So please, witnesses who are subpoenaed, are they
I'll get there. That's why I'll ask you. That's why I was asking you who invited her. That's why I was asking you who invited her.
Witnesses' statements are not binding on the court.
Yes, but they help the judge in arriving at a final decision.
Exactly. So how does that make it wrong for somebody to appear as a witness?
I am telling you that it is a lie if you say that witnesses do not appear in court to help those who brought them. It's a lie. They are there to help the case of those who brought them. That's fact one. Fact two, either accused person or the prosecution or even the court on its own motion can summon people to appear. If Gloria Sophia Akufu was summoned by the committee, I wouldn't have comfortably be in this chair and argue that she bastardized the Council of State. There, the argument that she was invited to help the process would have made sense. But in this particular light, she was sent there to represent the interests of Justice Tokono. And so she had taken a position that eventually would betray the final outcome of the case, considering the fact that she was going to be part of the same Council of State.
To decide on the final outcome.
So, these are the facts you need to understand, my brother. This is not politics, these are facts. Secondly, when I raised issues about her integrity, and I pointed out that in my estimation, her conducts are not one reflective of the national interest, but selfish interest, I mean it. And that is what our politics should be, speaking truth to power. The fact that she retires on her salary doesn't mean that she does not fall within the category of pensioners. She went there because her pensions were under threat, and she made that point public. Oh, the NDC decided to go around and campaign. Really? The NDC raised issues about your economic mismanagement. And we gave examples of how even your own appointee, a former Chief Justice, is suffering under your own economic models and had to come out and demonstrate under your government. Were we wrong? Was she not appointed by the NPP to be Chief Justice?
Yes, she was.
So where was the NDC?
So you went out with the credibility of an insincere person to campaign.
No. I said selfish. I said that she. I said
selfish person.
Listen. I said that she.
Really?
As far as I am concerned,
because her demonstration was
because of the fact that her interest was being threatened. Is that not a fact? And I asked a simple question. So many issues went wrong in this country. Did you ever hear her? And I gave a classical example of where the current Chief Justice met the media and raised issues about the Galamsey situation in this country. He's appointed by this regime. Did that stop him from speaking? That is principle. And that is what we need. And you see, maybe the time has come for us to actually even consider investigating her role as Chief Justice. Because see, when let me tell you something. If for nothing at all, not for punitive measures, but for the state to learn lessons from the process.
You sound pained by her decision to step out.
Mm-hmm. To investigate her as a Chief Justice over
who
what?
is talking about
you sound pained by her decision to step out.
Who is talking about the 7,000 purchases of state lands? Who is talking about it? We need to know the finality of that case. We're interested. And you see, for me, you can be forgiven to say that I'm pained by her decision to resign.
Yes, you are.
Because I was actually calling for her resignation.
Okay.
And as to whether people engage her behind the scenes to give her an option, either you resign or remove you, and maybe she chose the lesser option of resignation. There are things we don't know. We are not privy to.
Okay.
But my brother, where I am seated, I think that we all must agree that in assessing who is a credible person, it must go beyond the self.
So she's not credible.
And focus more on
are you suggesting
the
she's not
national interest. Oh, I have questioned her integrity.
Exactly. He has had cause.
In this chair, I think that I'm afraid of it.
A few minutes ago, I said
I am not afraid of it.
You were accusing her of not being credible. And he said no, it was rather selfishness. And then he proceeded to talk about. So that's why I just wanted to make that point that
I am questioning
integrity, credibility, selfishness, all because she doesn't want to.
Allow him so that we're not talking over each other.
And this is what.
So you see, for me, my brother, there are even positions I take that are sometimes uncomfortable for my own party because I believe in the national interest. And that is why I can comfortably sit in this chair and say with certainty that as far as I am concerned, looking at the conduct of the former Chief Justice of Akufo, it leaves so little to be desired. And there's the need for the nation to move away from optics, especially when determining who has credibility or not, or who has integrity or not. A single act is not enough for us to clothe personalities with some measure of integrity or credibility. And that has always been the problem of this country. I indicated also that indeed there's a petition already against her, calling for her removal. Why do you think that citizens of this country rose to that occasion to call for her removal? So, look, as for the MPP, they can do their politics. They are forgiven. My brother Fifi and his party, they are forgiven to do their politics. But from where I sit, look, I will welcome the resignation. If it is true, I'll be excited. And tonight, I will go to bed feeling so excited.
Because your wishes have come true.
Precisely.
Interesting.
I'm not hiding that.
At least he's not heading.
I was against her appointment onto the council in the first place.
He said it on this platform a number of times.
Yes, I was against her appointment onto the council in the first place. And it was worsened by her posture during the removal of Justice Tokono.
Right.
Her betrayal of trust of her colleagues at the Council of State level. And that conduct confirmed or reaffirmed my earlier position. And I'm not running away from it, my brother. You see, these things I'm talking about, it is for the security of the future of that we all are yearning for, myself and you. Their time is gone, they are going. If we are not careful, the needed support we will need to get from the Ghanaian there to make sure that our democracy is stabilized. Myself and you will bear the brunt. The system will come against us. Citizens will rise against us at the time they are dead and gone. We must start signaling as young people that we are desirous of a system that we can be proud of. And that those of us who are gunning to occupy public positions are people who have credibility and value issues of integrity, not just when it affects us. And I know you don't disagree with me in principle.
I disagree with the lack of principle in the argument you are making.
Okay.
This is somebody you say that she has shared a position with
That's
the...
Allow. No, but I'm still on the floor. You are not telling me to allow.
No, when he spoke, I came to you. Yeah. Now, this is the second time speaking on this matter.
The crime.
This is state.
No, listen. The crime.
No, on this matter, this is state. No, he started the conversation.
Then I came to you.
You came to me. You went back to him and came back to me.
I'm only supplying information.
So now you know that's his state time.
I'll allow you the time.
You know what?
I have more time to.
What is Madam Akufo's crime? Her crime is that she was a witness in a matter. And I will maintain that statement of a witness, it is not binding on the judge.
Yes, it is not. That one is true.
It is not binding on a judge. So
I don't have a problem with that.
She was not sitting as a judge or a committee member. So whatever she said there, it was not binding.
Are you serious?
So you do not say that because she has appeared, we don't even know what she went there to say. What she said is rather so bad that she's unfit to be a member of the Council of State. I said something, and he smartly ignored it.
Which one?
The Council of State, he talked about the fact that somebody has appeared as a witness, and for which reason is denigrating that Council of State. There's one of the members that the Ioko says the person is engaged in fraudulent act. The person is actually running away from being arrested. That does not denigrate the Council of State, but rather someone serving as a witness rather denigrate the Council of State. Really, the standard that Hamza wants. Oh, naturally, Papale.
Proceed.
You see now we know who is guilty.
I've done this so quiet.
Please go ahead, Fifi.
That is the standard. And he says something. And he kept on repeating, saying that, yes, Madam Sophia Akufo went on a demonstration, and it was the only demonstration she participated in. And for that reason, it makes her a selfish person. He talked about the fact that we have the current Chief Justice, the one who attends almost every NDC function. Anyway, the current Chief Justice, the fact that he has spoken about Galamsey, so of course he is beyond reproach. Is he also commenting on every topic in our country? I do not think that the fact that someone has participated in a demonstration now makes it compulsory for that person to talk about every other issue. Hamza, there are a lot of things he may disagree with, which he does not, one, go on a demonstration, two, come and sit on TV to talk about. He may, within the confines of friends, talk about them. Does it mean that he lacks, he's a selfish person, he lacks integrity, he's insincere? No. There are things you may believe in, there are things you may not believe in. But the mere fact that you have not come out publicly to talk about it means that you lack credibility. That is a very unfair judgment on the woman. You know what? I said it, that he's pained. You know why he's pained? Now, the president has a duty imposed on him by the Constitution to appoint a former Chief Justice as a Council of State member. You remember what these people did to Justice Georgina Wood? So do we go back to Georgina Wood? You remember the things they said about Justice Eni Yeboah, calling him United FC. What was the name people were calling them?
Unanimous.
Unanimous FC. Do we now go to Eni Yeboah? This one we felt was going to play ball because she demonstrated. This one too has left the boat. So who do we have with? And I can safely conclude that that is the reason why the president, finding it difficult to act
Hamza,
on the responsibility that has been imposed on him,
filling in of the vacancy
by the Constitution.
If it is vacant.
Papa lawyer,
indeed.
The Constitution is asking the president to take a decision by appointing a former Chief Justice as a member of the Council of State. Why is the president failing to act on a responsibility imposed on him by the Constitution? He cannot run away. You may say that the Council of State may not have informed the president. I have my doubt, though. I know former Speaker Do Ajaho very well. I do not think that Honorable Do Ajaho, as I know him, he will receive a communication of this nature somewhere last year and will fail to act on it. I do not think so. And I do not want anyone to suggest same. The president must act. He has a responsibility. As for the celebration, he is at liberty to celebrate all day because Madam Sofa Akufu has resigned as a member. But it casts a certain dark light on the NDC that the mere fact that someone disagrees with the position, that person is unfit to hold a position. I'm sure you've heard several of their members asking for people to be sacked from their offices, asking for people to be relieved of their responsibilities in this country. I remember I had one recently that a young lady at Nima, she's part of the swimming association or something like that. Somebody who has played a key role over the years. The minister appointed her as a member of the board of, I think, NSA or Swimming Association or something like that. And people wrote and said, take her off. We have a picture of her wearing MPP t-shirt some time back. Really? Must we get to that level where anyone who disagrees with us cannot contribute his or her quota to the national development? When they pay taxes, you take it, right? Or the MPPs, so they are not supposed to pay taxes. Everything in Ghana is now NDC.
Anyway.
We wish you well.
Lily.
Will it be difficult for the president to appoint?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Especially when, he enumerated the issues with Georgina Wood, and now Tokuno.
I don't think that should be difficult. But you see, first of all, let me just begin from where he ended. He says that NDC foot soldiers are calling for the removal of people from boards appointed. Should it be so? Interesting. He has conveniently forgotten, Lily, that even as we speak, the current chief executive officer of the Ghana Airport Company Limited is a former parliamentary candidate for the NPP in the Eastern region. We have not sacked her from post. She's still
parliamentary candidate?
She's the MD of Ghana Airport Company Limited.
Really?
I can't remember whether she attempted. Yes,
which
contested
year?
the primaries.
Which year?
She contested primaries. You can check it out.
No. You know what?
That is...
Listen.
Please, let me finish. Don't do this.
You should not even proceed on that tangent.
Let me finish.
I also hear you are attempting to be president. Does that make you a presidential candidate?
Wait. Please allow him.
No.
Please. She contested for primaries.
Which constituency?
That's what
Which
I'm
year?
Listen.
Verify.
Even if she is not a former contender, this is an appointee.
She was appointed under the S1 administration.
You understand?
Fact.
You
I don't
know
say she
that
was a
people
parliamentary
have been,
candidate.
she was.
Which
People have been,
constituency?
Hold on. I'll verify.
right.
Yeah.
If people have been replaced, she's still at post.
Why?
Because if it was a president who privileges partisanship over national service, I'm sure by now she wouldn't have been seated there.
Oh, really?
She would have been gone.
She's the only exceptional
So you see
one.
the contradiction. She's not the only person. Minerals Commission, for almost a year, who was still in charge until he was moved as a technical advisor to the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources. Not sacked to go home. There are many places today.
Mention them. Mention
that
them.
you still have NPP functionaries.
Mention them.
At post.
Mention them.
Ghana Gas.
Who is the chief executive?
GNPC, not the top management. I'm not saying
The
chief
chief
executive.
executive is,
I'm saying MPP functionaries at post. I'm not talking about
Madam
Ghana
Julius,
Gas chief executive. I'm telling you that functionaries, the deputies.
Deputies at Ghana Gas?
Mention them.
Or other institutions you're
I'm
talking
telling you
about?
that institutions, we have MPP functionaries at post.
Where?
Are you denying the fact that, okay, so when NDC came, they just sacked every institution wholesale?
I will not say
That is not a fact. And I've given you one example of Ghana Airport Company Limited. You have not been able to disagree with that fact.
You claim she was a
brother,
parliamentary candidate. You don't have evidence to back it.
My brother...
But that assertion I have checked is not true.
That she was not.
She
never contested for primaries.
Never.
But she wanted to.
No, it is not on record. So it is not
by
true.
Who? By who?
I have just.
And the pictures were, her T-shirts were everywhere.
But you know, in this day of AI,
he knows everything.
No, but Hamza, in this day of AI, you know everything is possible.
I can tell you.
On authority, it is not true.
Lily, I can tell you.
It is not true.
I will not pretend to know everybody in the
Can I?
Let me correct you. I will not pretend to know everybody in the
wants to respond? You are going to allow him to
No.
But that lady, until her appointment,
my goodness.
I had not seen her.
She was campaigning in the constituency. Please.
To the NPP.
That's not true.
Okay. So
that's not true.
I've never seen her
I have
anywhere
it
close
on
to the
record that
NPP.
she was campaigning in the constituency to be parliamentary candidate. It is a fact.
Evidence.
And your cameras can go to her constituency and check whether she was campaigning or not.
I'll go with
and
you.
whether she is part of the MPP list in that constituency or not. But you see, that is just an aside. It was just to expose the hypocrisy. But Lily, now my brother demonstrated another misunderstanding of the law and proceeded on the basis to say all kinds of things. He said that, a member of the Council of State has been accused of IOCO. And that alone is enough to dent the integrity of the Council of State. That's the question.
That's an allegation. It's not
common sense. And this is basic legal precedence in this country. That the fact that you are accused of a crime does not mean that you are guilty of the crime. Your fundamental human rights, my brother, is there. It's enshrined in your constitution. So any point in time that someone is accused of a crime, that means the person is guilty of that crime.
I did not say the person is guilty.
Oh.
That's what I said. So do not also proceed and make wrong assumptions.
Please,
I did not say so.
Please. You said
I did not.
That if the conduct of Sophia Akufo is one that is injurious to the integrity or image of the Council of State, what about a Council of State member who is being hounded by IOCO and being accused of engaging in all manner of things? Is that one not affecting the integrity?
Evading arrest. That is your...
No, but that does not...
You are not even aware that he was...
Hold on, gentlemen. Hold on, gentlemen.
No, I made a point.
Does that affect the entirety of the Council of State or his integrity and his credibility?
See, the point I was making...
His integrity and credibility... Can you allow me to make my point? Even his integrity and credibility cannot now be questioned.
Because he's not being found guilty.
No competent law
court of jurisdiction
has found him guilty of those crimes. It's as simple as that. And so you don't proceed on the basis of that to throw in issues that are unrelated to the subject matter we are discussing.
How is it not related?
It is unrelated because, look, we are talking about...
She's a Council of State member.
We are talking about... Yes. He is. But the point is that because he appears before an investigative body, it makes him guilty of the crime.
I did not say so.
He's not found guilty.
I did not say so.
So until it is proven that IOCO's accusations are grounded in law, he is still allowed to go about doing his own duties. And mind you, on the issue of removal of the inability of President Mohammed to appoint, he mentioned the former Chief Justices that are available. It is true that under Chapter 9 of the Constitution, I think Article 89, the President has to make appointments to the Council of State. That is a constitutional injunction on His Excellency President Mohammed. But have you also contemplated a situation where even it becomes possible that a time for such an appointment is due and we have no existing former Chief Justice?
But we do have.
No, I'm giving an example.
But we do have.
But these existing Chief Justices can have the right to decline the appointments.
Oh, yes.
So if we reach a situation where they all decline an appointment, what happens?
There will obviously be a lacuna.
And what happens when there's a lacuna? The President will go back to where? Parliament.
Yes.
A decision can be taken there.
From Parliament.
If a decision is taken and you are not happy with it, you go to court and challenge it. Then the court takes advantage to make a determination for us in cases where we do not have an existing Chief Justice or a former IGP. What happens? That's how the law goes. So His Excellency President Mahama, his hands are not tied in any way.
He has options.
He has options. He can make an offer to former Chief Justice Eni Yabua. He can make an offer to former Chief Justice Georgina Wood. And they also have the right to decline. Or even, no, not Tokono. And they also have the right to decline. No, Tokono is an impeached Chief Justice.
So the law bars her?
Yes, she cannot be referred to as a former Chief Justice. She's removed.
She was a Chief Justice.
She was, but she's removed. So she's not part of that category.
Okay.
That's the point I'm making. So, but an offer can be made to Georgina Woods. It can be made to Eni Yabua. And if they decline, because they have the right to decline, the President can confer with Parliament, and a decision can be taken to fill that hole. If as a citizen of the country, you feel so strongly that, look, this is unconstitutional, you go to court, and it gives the court an opportunity to develop the law in that regard. So, mind you, for many of us who are law practitioners, in fact, it is our desire that these two former Chief Justices decline an invitation to go in case it is established
that indeed she has resigned.
She has resigned. Okay. So it is our desire that they decline, so that we seek an opportunity, we take advantage of that opportunity to develop the law for you.
All right.
Okay.
In case we don't have any Chief Justice being former CJ being alive, then we can fill that.
All right, gentlemen.
It's funny, but you see, Lily, just a quick one.
You want to go the third
one?
one?
No, I'm not going the third one. I'm just making.
He says a quick one. I'm
okay, I'll also do a quick one.
Do you have a third?
I do.
Yeah,
but I gave you the opportunity. You ended.
No, because I thought you were pressed for time. I cancel flow.
In this country,
really
political appointment is one a lot of people clamor for. They go every length to be given that opportunity to serve.
Okay.
Here you had Madam Sophia Akufo given the opportunity to serve as a member of the Council of State. Indeed, there are benefits for her to derive as a member of the Council of State. But she says, no, I do not want it. Despite all the benefits, I want to move on. This is the woman who is being referred to as selfish. But I'm struggling to understand why Hamza is quick to even move beyond what happens with the appointment and suggesting that they may say that they do not want to serve as members of the Council of State. Does he have information?
No, I'm not saying. I say if.
You are too quick.
I said if.
You were too quick. The alacrity with which you proceeded to suggest that if they don't take it, then we'll have to do this. They are living Chief Justice. Article 89 of our Constitution, Section 4 of the Council of State Act, actually spells out how the president must appoint. And the president, the ball is in his court. I'm still asking, what has happened all this period?
Okay.
Why is he not respecting the Constitution?
Thank you. That's Fifi Wafo. He's former head of corporate affairs for Cocoa Board. I mentioned to you earlier that he's also eyeing the Takwan Swain seat. So
well, though, but he will not beat the NDC.
And that's Alhaji Hamza Suhaili Aswa. He's a member of the NDC communications team. And my name is Lily Mohammed. The World Cup has started. You can still pack your bags because 2 people are going to the FIFA World Cup 2026 today, tomorrow, and 2 more a day after. There's the Black Stars World Cup support raffle, and for just 10 cedis, you can win a full World Cup experience package, which includes your return flights, accommodation, and match tickets to all 3 of Ghana's group stage games in North America. And there are daily consolation prizes to cash to your mobile money wallet, autographed Black Stars jerseys, VIP fan pack tickets, airtime and data bundles, and many, many more to be won. Every ticket is your vote for the Black Stars and your shot at being there when they play England, Croatia and Panama. All you need to do is dial *899#. *899#, whether you use MTN, Telecel or Airtel Tigo. Just 10 cedis per ticket and you have better chances of winning. 2 winners every day, Ghana to the world. Now the World Cup fever is still on and everyone is getting excited. Compi Ghana says the match shouldn't just be on the pitch. You can bring stadium experience home. This is the time to buy your crystal clear TVs, sound bars, home theaters, smartphones, laptops, projectors and more at unbeatable prices. Remember, this isn't just a discount sale. It's a chance to win a 104K smart TV, cash, laptops, phones and many other amazing prizes when you spend 1,000 cedis or more. Rush to any Compu Ghana showroom or shop online at compugana.com. You can call us on the number 0302 752020, 0302 752020. Equally, you can send us a WhatsApp to the numbers 0243 143143, 0243 143143. Compu Ghana Gold Rush season, the ultimate football experience. Stay with me. I am back to do some celebrations. Nkunima Mense Kuyamwa Santi. Oh, that's a beautiful name. Of Danazi Preparatory School, Iron City, Kaswa, from his father, Eric Kuyamwa Santi, mother, Diana Ishen, and Auntie Nana of Iron City, Kaswa. To my amazing wifey, you have a heart that loves endlessly, a soul that shines brightly, and a presence that makes my life more beautiful. I pray that may this year be filled with good moments that bring you joy, love, and surrounds you with and dreams that comes true, my love. Thank you for everything. Happy birthday, my wifey Pookie. Love you so much. This is from your heartbeat. No more for baby last. Ish. Love is sweet. Happy glorious birthday, Abigail Nanaya Asari. God richly bless you and make you great. From Rosemond Akoko Ajeti. Stay blessed and enjoy your day with lots of love. This is from Akoko Lagat. Happy birthday, Da Adole. God bless you abundantly and grant you your heart's greatest desires. Serge, let's meet at the top. Happy birthday, Inusa Moro, aka Roxy, the Barcelona man. From the Inusa family to you, we see you, we appreciate you, and we love you. Keep your foundation strong, keep doing the little things right, and keep pushing with hard work. The best is still ahead of you, and keep soaring. From your brother here at GH1 TV and Star FM, mom and dad, and all your siblings. Happy birthday to you, Inusa Moro. This is from Mutala Inusa. That's Mutala's younger brother, by the way. And a belated birthday to myself. God bless me and make sure that all my heart desires are granted.